Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are digging into something incredibly direct. It's Charlie Munger's 12-month recovery plan for starting over with absolutely nothing. And just to be clear, this is not soft focus motivation, it's pure pragmatic strategy.
And you have to understand where this comes from, because that's what gives it so much weight. This isn't Munger in his 90s writing from a boardroom. He built this from his own life, hitting, absolute rock bottom.
This is back in 1962.
Yeah. At 38, he was divorced, completely broke. He had a negative net worth. And on top of all that, he was dealing with the unimaginable tragedy of losing his 9-year-old son.
So that context changes everything. This is not some theoretical how-to-get-rich guide. It's a survival plan. It's about how to get solvent when you are feeling desperate.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack his 7 steps. We're going to ignore, all the motivational garbage. Munger's plan is clinical.
Yeah.
Year 1 is all about defense-building capital. Year 2, that's when you finally get to play offense.
Okay, let's get into it. And Munger starts with this really surprising idea. He says that starting with zero isn't your biggest problem. He actually sees it as an advantage. I mean, how can having nothing possibly be an advantage?
Well, he points to 3 massive advantages that wealthy or even just comfortable people lose.
Yeah.
The first one is the freedom to take risks.
Okay, explain that.
Once you have the big salary, you also have the big expenses, right? The mortgage, the country club, the leased BMW. You become a slave to your own lifestyle. You're terrified to lose what you have.
I think we've all seen that. Someone making, say, 300 grand but spending 295. They're stuck. They can't take a risk on a new venture because if their income dips for even a month,
the whole house of cards comes down. Exactly. Munger's point is, when you're broke, you don't have that problem. You have freedom. You have maximum optionality.
And the second advantage?
Your mistakes are cheap. This is a big one.
Cheap mistakes. What does he mean by that?
Look, if you're just starting out and you try something that fails, what did you lose? A few $100, maybe 1,000. Munger calls that tuition.
Okay, so it's the cost of learning.
It's just the cost of learning. You paid a tiny fee for a huge lesson. Meanwhile, if Munger makes a mistake today, the tuition is, millions, billions even. For you, failure is affordable. It's actually a tool.
That's a powerful way to reframe it. Okay, and the third advantage he points to is about compounding.
Yes, compounding hasn't worked against you yet. We always talk about compounding interest, but Munger says poverty and bad habits also compound.
So procrastination, bad spending, that builds a kind of negative momentum over time.
A huge negative momentum. Think about it. Every year you waste between, say, age 20 and 40 costs you something like $100,000 in future retirement money. But the moment you start a plan like this, you stop that negative compounding dead in its tracks.
So you're not starting from a deficit. You're starting with freedom, cheap learning, and a clean slate. Okay, that's a powerful mental shift. So let's get into phase 1. The defensive foundation. This covers the first half of the year.
And this is where the commitment kicks in. Step 1 is January. Stop the bleeding.
You can't build anything if your foundation is leaking cash.
You're doomed. His instruction is simple and brutal. Write down every single expense you have and then cut half of it.
Half? That sounds impossible, especially in January, right after the holidays. How do you even do that without just, giving up?
He's blunt about it.
Yeah.
His philosophy is, the only thing you deserve when you're broke is to stop being broke. Full stop. So comforts, social outings, all that, that's a luxury you have to re-earn.
So what are the specific cuts he's talking about?
Big ones. Got a car payment? Sell the car. Buy a $3,000 beater Honda with cash. That alone can save you, what, $500-600 a month?
That's $6,600 a year right there. And food.
Eating out is gone. Completely. You cook every meal, rice, beans, chicken. He says you can eat for $5 a day. That saves another $1,000, maybe $2,000 a year. Subscriptions, Netflix, the gym cancel, all of them.
Read a library book and do push-ups.
That's literally his advice. It's a year of austerity to win your freedom.
Okay, so by February, the bleeding has stopped. What's step 2? This is for February and March.
This is the income sprint. Munger is adamant. You cannot invest your way out of poverty with $50 a month. You have to dramatically increase your income, and you have to do it now.
So for 60 days, you just focus on earning.
That's it. Forget career building for a minute. The goal is to work 70-hour weeks. For 8 weeks, stack jobs. Do whatever you can.
So we're not looking for the perfect job. We're looking for the highest hourly rate right now. Freelance writing, cold calling, whatever pays.
Precisely. This is about building capital, not a career. And there's one single target. Save $5,000 by April 1st. That money is your proof of concept. It's your leverage.
Okay, so you have $5,000 in the bank. And I know that little voice in your head is screaming, invest it, buy crypto, buy something. But Munger says that's the biggest trap.
The biggest. And that brings us to step 3, which is April through June. Build the emergency wall.
This is what separates people who succeed from those who just keep failing.
It is. Because what happens? People who are broke invest too early, an emergency hits, car breaks down, you lose your job, and they're forced to sell their investment at a loss. And boom, they're back at zero. Desperate again.
That failure spiral.
You have to avoid it. So for these 3 months, you aren't investing, you are saving aggressively. The goal is to save the next $10,000.
To bring your total cash to $15,000.
$15,000 total. And that $10,000 is your emergency wall. You put it in a boring high-yield savings account, and you don't touch it.
It's not sexy, but it's your foundation. It's 3 to 6 months of survival. It removes the fear from all your decision-making.
And that marks the end of the defensive phase. Now, with that wall built, you can finally shift to offense.
Okay, so we're halfway through the year. It's July. We're entering phase 2, the strategic offense. And that first $5,000 we saved can finally be put to work.
Yes. Step 4 for July and August is invest in yourself. Munger is crystal clear on this. With small amounts of capital, the highest return you will ever get is from investing in your own earning power.
And he's specific about how to allocate that $5,000, isn't he?
Very specific. $2,000 goes directly into skills or certifications. A coding boot camp, a real estate license, a commercial driver's license. Something that structurally increases your hourly rate.
The ROI on that is just massive.
It's insane. I mean, think about it. If $2,000 takes you from $20 an hour to $35 an hour, that's a 75% raise. You can't get that in the stock market. You're raising your entire value floor.
So what about the other $3,000?
He splits it. $1,000 for tools of independence, a good laptop, software, whatever you need to do higher paying work. Another $1,000 for networking and positioning. Munger always said his biggest opportunities came from knowing the right person. So this is for conferences, professional groups, taking someone smart to lunch.
You're buying access and relationships. That's a sophisticated play.
It is. And the last $1,000 is an opportunity fund. Liquid cash for a quick deal. Flipping something, buying some emergency equipment for a freelance gig. By September, your main income should be way higher.
Which lets you move right into step 5 for September and October, build the second income stream.
Right. And he means, real income streams that work while you sleep. He gives 2 main options.
What's the first one?
The boring one. Dividend stocks. By now, you should have saved another $3,000. You put that into reliable, established companies. Soap, toothpaste, insurance. Things with a 50-year history of paying dividends.
Okay, but $3,000, that's only going to generate, what, $10 a month? That feels so slow after all that work.
It feels slow. But he says the power is in the unworked income. That $10 is your proof of concept. You keep feeding that machine, and in a few years, that's $200 a month. In a decade, maybe $2,000 a month. It's about starting the compounding engine.
And what's the more aggressive option?
Real estate. If you're a super saver, you could take your whole $20,000 to $15,000 from the fund, plus the $5,000 you just saved, and use it as a 3.5% FHA down payment on a small duplex.
Live in one side, rent out the other.
And have the renter pay your mortgage. You're building equity with other people's money. It's higher risk, way more work, but the upside is obviously huge.
So by November, you're in a really strong position. But Munger says this is where most people fail. Step 6, the discipline test.
This is all psychology. Yeah. He says November, December destroy more financial progress than any other time of year. You're tired, it's the holidays, and you think, I deserve this. I earned this.
You confuse earning money with having money.
Yeah.
And the family pressure to spend on gifts and travel is immense.
It is. And his action here is simple. Spend nothing extra. Commit to it. Your gifts are your time or something you made. You have to protect your progress. Let people think you're cheap. They're not paying your bills.
Cross the finish line without tripping right at the end. Okay, so if you make it through the holidays, you arrive at the final step, December.
Step 7. Plan your next year. You've done it. If you follow the plan, you are solvent. You have a $10,000 safety net, a higher income, new skills, and a second income stream starting to trickle in. You went from zero to secure in 1 year.
And the key here is that year one was all defense. Year two is finally about pure offense.
That's the whole point. Because you have that safety net, you can now take real calculated risks.
Right.
Start the business. Buy the rental property. Invest more aggressively. You're no longer operating from a place of fear.
So your job in December is to just write that plan for year two. The new income goal, the savings target, the next investment. You've proven you can do it.
You're in a different league now. You're not desperate anymore. You're an investor.
So to sum up Munger's lesson here, year one is brutal, boring, defensive work to build a foundation and eliminate fear. Year two is where you actually get to build wealth.
It's stop the bleeding, sprint for cash, build the wall, invest in yourself, build a second stream, pass the discipline test, and then plan your attack. Relentless sequential priorities.
Which brings us to the final and maybe most important thought from Munger. He knew this plan works. He lived it. But he also said, flat out, most of you won't do it.
Okay.
The challenge for you, listening, isn't whether the plan is good. It's proven. The only question is whether you will commit for the full 12 months. That commitment is the only thing standing between where you are now and solvency.